fruit of the Spirit is
love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control.
Galatians 5:22-23.
I know, church was amazing this morning. I loved everything about it. Yeah. Okay, well, I better go. All right, girl, I gotta drive. I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye. All right. Hey, son, how was church for you this morning?
Don't get me started.
Oh, really? What happened?
Well, the first disaster was they did a new song today.
That's great. New songs are so fun.
Mom, I didn't know any of the words.
Honey, it was new. I'm sure most of the kids didn't know the words.
Then they asked who had a birthday this week. I raised my hand and they called me up. They gave me this hat and they sung happy birthday to me.
Well, that sounds really nice.
No, it wasn't. They sung totally off key and I could tell they were singing to the other girl who had a birthday too. They probably like her better.
Now, son,
I am serious. And the kid on the front row spit on me while he was singing. And then, whenever I was going back to my seat, my hat fell off.
so far it doesn't sound so bad, son. I mean...
Don't get me started. And then, on the way out, they handed out candy. I searched and searched, but I couldn't find any guacamole flavored candy. It was a disaster.
Well, hopefully lunch should cheer you up.
Well, I hope it isn't that place that you took me to last time. That was nasty food.
Wow, just wow.
But the fruit of the Spirit is
Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control.
Galatians 5:22-23.
What you gotta know? What you gotta know? What you gotta know? What you gotta know?
Hey there, kids. I'm Big Ray, and I'm here to tell you what you gotta know. Today, we are talking about the next fruit of the Spirit, the fruit of joy. So anytime today you hear somebody ask you what you gotta know, you tell them, I'll be full of the joy of the Lord. Christians are supposed to show joy. Gotta smile and show your teeth like this. I understand there are times when things go bad, and it's a lot easier to look like this. This is not fair. But if we're gonna display the fruit of the Spirit, we gotta have joy no matter what. So anytime today you hear somebody ask you what you gotta know, you tell them, I'll be full of the joy of the Lord. And that right there is what you gotta know. This is Big Ray, and I'll catch you on the flip side.
What you gotta know?
It's time for our Bible story. Now, our story today is taken from the book of 2 Samuel, chapter 6. And it's a story about David, King David. Now, before he was king, there was war going on, and they had lost the Ark of the Covenant to some enemies of theirs. So it was not in the hands of the Israelites at the time. Now, the Ark of the Covenant was a box about this big, and it had gold on it, and it was very costly and expensive to make. And inside of it was the 10 Commandments and some other things too. But the important thing is that it represented and symbolized the presence of God. That's right, the presence of God. Well, David, being the king, he wanted so bad to have the Ark of the Covenant in Jerusalem, where he lived. That was like the capital city of Israel. So they went down to the place where the Ark of the Covenant was, and they got it and put it on a wagon, and they started to transport it to Jerusalem. And on their way, every so many steps, they would stop and they would worship God, and they would go on again and stop and worship God, and they would go on until finally, after days and days, they got to the city of Jerusalem. Now, when they got to the city of Jerusalem and they were starting to go into the gates, all the people of the city were there, and they were shouting and praising God, And it just filled David's heart so much with joy because he loved God so much that his joy just began to spill out, and he began to praise God, and he would put his hands all over and he would be dancing around and just really doing some great things. But the thing was when he came in, he didn't have his king's robe and crown on like kings would always have. No, he had just his undergarments on. And he was out there in front of all these people in front of the Ark of the Covenant as it came in. And he was just like being silly almost to some of the people. Well, King David's wife looked down and he saw King David and she saw him acting that way. And she went up to King David and said, King David, he says, you made a fool of yourself down there acting like that, not dressed like a king. You're just not looking like a king at all. I don't think that was right. And then King David stopped her and says, I am willing to act like a fool in order to show my joy in the Lord. That's right. His heart was so filled with joy that he just erupted with praise. Some people maybe thought he was a fool, but he would have acted like anything. It didn't matter what other people thought, is what God thought. And the joy of the Lord is an important part of being a Christian. We need to have the joy of the Lord in our life, like David did. And that's the fruit of the Spirit, the second one. That's our Bible story for today.
Say what now? What you got to know?
I've got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart.
Where?
Down in my heart.
Where?
Down in my heart. I've got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart.
Where?
Down in my heart to stay. And I'm so happy, so very happy. I've got the love of Jesus in my heart. And I'm so happy, so very happy. I've got the love of Jesus in my heart. I've got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart.
Where?
Down in my heart.
Where?
Down in my heart. I've got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart.
Where?
Down in my heart to stay. And now it's time for our power verse. Boys and girls, say it with me. It's found in Psalm 68:3. It says, but let the godly rejoice. Let them be glad in God's presence. Let them be filled with joy. Let's say it again together. But let the godly rejoice. Let them be glad in God's presence. Let them be filled with joy. Psalm 68:3. I think Banana Man's coming. Banana Man, it's you! Yay, I'm so glad to see you. Were you listening to our memory verse?
Well, I heard some noise up here.
Well, do you want to hear us say it again?
Yeah.
Okay, boys and girls, help me. But let the godly rejoice. Let them be glad in God's presence. Let them be filled with joy. Psalm 68:3. Okay, Banana Man, take it away.
Take it away.
You're our Banana verse.
Take what away?
You're our Banana Man verse sayer.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll give it a shot here. Okay. Let's see. What's the first word again?
But.
But. Okay. Here we go. But. I forgot the second word.
Let.
Let.
The second word is let.
Okay, but let. Okay, here we go. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are the boys and girls ready out there?
Are you ready? Yes, they're ready too.
Okay, here goes. But let the godly eat bananas because
Wait
they
a
taste
minute.
so
It
good.
doesn't say let the godly eat bananas. It says, but let the godly rejoice.
You mean the godly can't eat bananas?
Well,
They have to eat
yes, the
apples
godly
or-
can eat bananas,
Oh, they
but,
can't? Oh, good. Good.
but this verse doesn't have the word bananas in it.
Oh. Well, can I try it again?
Okay, stand up straight and tall so that we can see you. And yes, give it another try.
Okay, here it goes. Are you ready?
Ready.
But let the godly rejoice.
Yes.
Let them be glad when they eat bananas because they taste so good.
No.
And they're good for you. Oh, they're yummy in your tummy. Yes.
No, it doesn't have anything to do about eating bananas, Banana Man.
No?
Now look, because we're talking about the fruit of the Spirit, I have this banana here.
Oh, give it to me,
and
give it-
this banana is a fruit, but I know you love it, but I'm just trying to encourage you and giving you a motivation. If you can say the verse without messing up, I'll give you this banana. Okay?
Okay, I'll give it a try.
All right, try it again.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, but let the godly rejoice. Let them be glad in God's presence. Let them be filled with banana cream pie.
Oh, no, not filled with banana cream pie.
Did I mess up again?
Yes, the last word is joy.
Joy.
I think banana cream pie gives you joy, does it?
Be filled with joy when you eat banana cream pie?
Well, I understand your problem, Banana Man. It's all right. Stand up straight and tall. I'll give
Okay.
you one more chance.
Okay, one more chance. But let the godly rejoice. Let them be glad in God's presence. Let them be filled with
Starts with a J.
not jelly, no.
Not jelly. Look.
Oh, joy!
Joy.
Joy! Be filled with joy!
And where do you find that in the Bible?
Psalms 68 3.
Yes, you
I got
got it. Woohoo! Here you go.
Oh,
You almost bit my finger. Oh, Banana Man. He loves bananas so much. Boys and girls, don't forget our power verse today. But let the godly rejoice. Let them be glad in God's presence. Let them be filled with joy. Psalm 68:3.
Say what now? What you gotta know?
The fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Last week we talked about love. This week our lesson is on joy. Now, how many of you have ever taken a picture when you really didn't want to take a picture, but your mom or parents were saying, smile, smile for the camera, say cheese, and you're like, take a look at these kids and what they did. Yeah, right? They didn't want to smile. But your parents are saying, hey, you have to smile for the camera. It's not optional. Well, today in our lesson, joy is not optional. It's a command. We can't just choose if we want to be joyful or not be joyful. In Psalm 68:3, it says, but let the godly rejoice. Let them be glad in God's presence. Let them be filled with joy. So God wants us to have that joy in our lives. He wants to be the source of that joy. So when we ask Jesus to come in our heart, He fills us up with His joy. Joy is not based on what is happening around you. You see, sometimes trouble comes, but the Bible tells us when trouble comes, to consider it all joy. You may ask, what? When we're in trouble? Maybe I got in trouble because I did something wrong, I should consider it joy? Or maybe my best friend moves away and I should be joyful? What's that all about? Well, you know, in the Word, He tells us to be joyful, so we need to consider those times of trouble, times that we can grow, a chance to grow in the Lord. Joy comes when you realize that God is with you always. Do you understand that He is with us always? And if we have God with us, wherever we are, 24/7, we can't help but to have His joy in our lives. Remember that video we saw at the beginning? Well, imagine what would happen if this boy had joy. Take a look at this.
I know, church was amazing this morning. I loved everything about it. Yeah. Okay, well, I better go. All right, girl, I gotta drive. I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye. All right. Hey, son, how was church for you this morning?
It was awesome.
Oh, really? What happened?
Well, we learned a new song today, and I learned a bunch of the words.
That's great. New songs are so fun.
And they asked who had a birthday this week. I raised my hand and they called me up. They gave me this hat and they sung happy birthday to me.
Well, that sounds really nice.
It was. And the kid on the front row was so excited to sing, he accidentally spit on me while he was singing. I thought it was hilarious.
That is hilarious.
And then, on the way out, they handed out candy. I didn't find my favorite flavor, but I did get a piece of grape candy. Maybe I can have it for dessert after lunch.
Well, hopefully you'll like where we go to lunch.
Any place is fine with me.
Son, I really appreciate your joyful spirit. It's a blessing.
Of course, I have joy. It's a fruit of the Spirit, you know.
I sure do.
Hey kids, what time is it?
Here is our finish line, and they're going to start from right here. Okay, so they've already got their balloons blowed up. They know the gist of the game. All right, ready, set, go. That didn't work out too good, did it, Asa?
Hey, boys and girls, thank you for listening this week. As we talked about the fruit of the Spirit of joy, next week, we hope that you'll join us for the next fruit of the Spirit. See you then.